You ready?
You're done,
We're ready.
Captain.
There we go, 6 o'clock. I will call the Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 Faribault City Council meeting to order. First item is roll call.
Councilmember Barnes. Here. Jumbuya.
Here.
Ross. Rowan.
Here.
Bensus.
Here.
Teal.
Here.
Mayor Spooner.
Here. And second is Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our second item is approval of the agenda.
Owner.
Motion by Donbuya, second by Barnes. All those in favor signify by saying
Aye.
aye. All opposed. The agenda is approved. Item number 3, we have 2 presentations tonight. First of all is presentation of from John Sherwood to John Blackmer, Chief Sherwood.
Can you hear me? Oh, here we go. Okay, good. Mayor, members of council, I'm delighted to be here tonight to present a recognition from, we don't do this very often, but this is a recognition for life-saving actions by a citizen of our community, Mr. John Blackmer. I want to give you a little bit of the details first so you know why we're here. And I'm joined by a large number of our officers that were actually present that night. So if you think back to December 17th of 2025, we had a work session that night, and then we had after that we had a Christmas event. While all that was taking place, we had officers that were dispatched to the area of Ravine Street for a person in crisis, a young 19-year-old man who was experiencing a psychological crisis and had been demonstrating some characteristics of self-harm. And that young individual left his residence and was on foot, and we were looking for him and concerned about his welfare. The information we had was the individual had last been seen headed toward the woods of the State Academy as well as toward Shattuck. We had all of our officers that were working, this was right at shift change, went to the scene. We contacted the fire department, who all the on-duty firefighters responded, as well as part-time paid on call that came in for manpower issues. We had sheriff's office deputies there, and we had several drones that were up in the air. Members of the department know Mr. Blackmer from his relationship that we have with him at Shattuck, and made a phone call to, hey, can you keep an eye on campus to see if this individual walks through the wooded area? He did a lot more than that, and that's why we're here. This search and this effort went on for over an hour and a half. To no avail, despite the drones and everything. And if you remember the conditions, it was cold, there was snow on the ground. And far outside the perimeter we were looking, John went and found a lone set of footprints along the railroad tracks headed northbound water treatment plant. And so he alerted officers, they responded, and they were able to locate this individual. He was almost outside of the city, out by the got him medical treatment, and then it was discovered that his injuries that were self-inflicted were so severe he had to be airlifted to the Twin Cities. This was absolutely life-saving, and for that we present this certificate. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you.
Next item tonight is a proclamation. We do this every year. How many school bus drivers come on?
Yeah, do it. Bus driver.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate all you do. As well.
But Marshall is over there. Just taking pictures. Marshall wants to take pictures.
From the office of the Mayor of Faribault. Whereas in the darkness and the daylight, the dirty roads to multi-lane highways, from the warm spring to the frigid winter, Minnesota school bus drivers safely transport more than 760,000 precious students to and from school each day. Whereas school bus drivers often bookend the student's day, they can be a positive influence on a student's educational experience. Whereas school bus driving industry is the largest form of mass transit in Minnesota and has worked hard to reduce the environmental impact through uses of alternative fuels through retrofitting diesel engines. Whereas it is estimated that the use of school bus saves the United States more than 2.3 billion gallons of fuel each year. Whereas students are nearly 8 times safer riding to and from school in a school bus rather than cars, thanks to the rigorous safety standards for vehicles and drivers, as well as students' training efforts. Whereas the city of Faribault participates in school bus drivers and recognizes the invaluable contributions they make to public education and student safety. Today we recognize the worthy professionals. Now therefore, I, Thomas J. Spooner, Mayor of the City of Faribault, do hereby proclaim February 18th, 2026 as School Bus Driver Appreciation Day. All right, there you go. Thank you. Next item is approval of the minutes of January 27th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Roan, second by Van Sluis to approve the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Requests to be heard. We have quite a few tonight compared to normal. You will be given 3 minutes to speak on your topic of which you have chosen. Please come forward to the podium, state your name and your address for the record. So first up, Matt Cavier, 1000 Chumway Avenue, but please state that.
Matt Cavalier, 1000 Chumway Avenue, Shattuck St. Mary's School. I'm the head of school. I've been a member of this community for 22 years. And I'm here today. I've had good conversations with Tom and with John, who just left, about some of the disruptions that ICE is in our community. I'm not here to talk about anything I think very political this afternoon, but I am talking about some financial challenges that are happening. I can tell you that as a school that brings in students from across the country and across the globe, we are already hearing from families that they're going to choose not to bring their students to Minnesota because of what's going on in Minneapolis and maybe to a lesser extent their knowledge of what's going on in our town. And so I need people to understand that while we may have differences of opinion on how and whether it's right to be here without documentation or not, there are ramifications and ripple effects that roll out into the community that I don't think we're always taking under consideration. Number one, Shattuck St. Mary's is an incredible source of income for this town. Our students provide an incredible source of income for this town. If we are going to get hit by that, so are all of the restaurants in town, the hotels in town, and the stores in town, right? That's all going to have ramifications. But I'm not really here to talk about or complain about Shattuck St. Mary's or any of our struggles kind of with students. I'm here because tonight you're going to meet this afternoon or this evening to talk about a request for $50,000 help pay some emergency rent. That's a drop in the bucket to help some people in our community in a situation where we don't know how long this might last. I understand that there might be some people out there who want to say that that's fine, let's let this come to a head and let's deal with it. But the reverberations from that are pretty seismic. It means that if we all of a sudden have 60 people who are evicted, 60 families who are evicted, that is going to increase the workload of almost everybody in public service here. It's going to increase the workload of the police office, it's going to increase the workload of the fire department, it's going to increase the workload of the social services that we have in place to help people. I would strongly urge this committee to take this into account. It is not a full plan. There needs to be a full plan.
30 seconds.
28 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, okay. It is not a full plan, and there needs to be a full plan put in place on how to support these families. However, we're not talking about a full plan, we're talking about an emergency service allocation. I would really hope that that would be something you'd consider. John Blackmer is a perfect example of who we are and what we stand for, both at Shattuck St. Mary's and in Faribault. We take care of everybody around us, and we look to make sure that everybody's safe and cared for.
Thank you, Matt. Diane Plank, is that correct? Dana. I'm sorry for penmanship, so.
That is completely okay. Dana Plank, 838 Home Place. Good evening, Council. I am actually against the fact that they're trying to justify $50,000 for people that should not be in the community. So if they're an illegal immigrant, an illegal alien, they should not be here. So there should be no dollars at any amount that should be allocated for those people in this community, let alone the state, to be able to get a rental assistance. I, for one, am completely for ICE and what they're doing. I think it should last as long as it possibly can. If you're here illegally, you need to leave. There's not much more that I think that we should be, I guess, talking about. This is a common sense issue. There's no reason for us as taxpayers to be able to fund an illegal alien to live in our community that, you know, we're looking at. We just heard the topic of ripple effects. You have illegal aliens that are in our community that can cause crime. They may have done identity theft. If they're paying taxes, they could be removed, so that way we actually have a place for someone else for taking that apartment or that housing that they're in. You have a large amount of items or ripple effects that are not in a positive, they're in a negative. And the fact that we're paying for those people to be here. So that's just my opinion. I think that you should definitely deny it. Thank you.
John Kingland.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Kingland. I've lived here all my life. I would just, as leaders in our community, there is an obligation to what is desired from, separate what is desired and what is imperative, and to support our community with physical and moral good decisions. As servants of the community, those in official positions, there's a burden and responsibility to first balance the budget and things that the law-abiding citizens need, and second, to ensure that there is a representation of taxation. Do we have a surplus of funds? That would be my question. If we have a balanced budget and have surplus funds, are the taxpayers, the good and legal citizens in our community, are they in agreement and content with the amount of taxes being burdened on them today? Or do they want the surplus to be directly back to them as a taxpayer? Questions we should be asking. We should strive to be fair and just, and to be careful not to give aid to illegal activity, no matter the financial deficit. Giving funds, shelter, or any type of help to those that are criminals or those who are participating in illegal activity, this should be considered aiding and abetting. We should not have a desire to support illegal activity. fair, or just, especially to those who strive daily to be law-abiding, productive citizens, and so good-standing members of our community. Nor is it the right and loving way to treat our neighbors, people that have gone through the right way to do this. And we all have an obligation to use our funds and assets and talents, skills, trades, and time to build up and protect, defend, and care for our community, for our law-abiding citizens. I would like to encourage everyone here to do just this. Remember that we are a constitutional republic. Remember that founding fathers desired us, as they started the framework of our country, what they wanted. And remember to serve our community as we love God and love our neighbors. Do what is good and just, folks. Thank you.
Jordan Brennan?
Hello, everybody. Jordan Brennan, 409 First Avenue Northeast, 127 14th Street. Just coming today. I just want to thank everybody on council for everything you do to support the community. I'm coming here to talk about Charter Section 305 and the multi-step process, which can lead to some unforeseen costs and delays. Us, it's had a great effect in delaying a projected income of fairly substantial money per month, and then in those delays and time lost, we are unable to always create a clear path to the end goal. For small contractors, it's hard to lock them in to a smaller project because they're usually bigger things. And this uncertainty just leads to a lot of just kind of poor performance around it. And the other side of that is financial burden through that process. If you get to a certain point, but then are a little bit stuck. And I think that for businesses to succeed, there needs to be a process which is understandable, predictable, and consistent. Thank you for your time.
Nate Cunningham.
Good evening. Nate Cunningham, also 409 First Avenue Northeast. Mr. Mayor, council members. I'm going to continue what Jordan was talking about. So, talking about a double reading or cost of delays, what is a month or 3 weeks cost of delays to a small business. It could, due to our own projections, it'll cost somewhere between veterans, we have disabled people that are trying to bring on the books and help, and local community members that we could employ to help knit our community back together, which we're unable to do as we keep negotiating delays and moving forward. But outside the monetary costs, there's a cost to the community itself. The system is set doesn't allow small businesses to compete effectively. We don't have the funds or the pocketbooks to go up against bigger contractors or secure the contractors that might get it done. Delays in administration deter new businesses from even working or from wanting to participate. We talked to many companies in town that won't come to the town because they can't do business in the first place. I'm from here. This is my town. I'm not going anywhere. We're going to fix this town as best as we can, and we keep running into people with a similar mentality. Cost the reputation of Faribault in itself. If you go somewhere else, talk about Faribault, you get the stink eye sometimes. That's kind of frustrating. So we're doing what we can. So, the vote to change this, alter the section 3.05 will not fix all of this. This is a bigger, a lot of city people are working with us on a lot of things, and we really appreciate that. It's not going to fix everything, but this will be a great step in the right direction. So,
Thank you. Lastly, Gail Burke.
Council members, Gail Burke, 717 Spring Road here in Faribault. My name is Gail Burke, and I've been a lifelong resident of Faribault. I'm here tonight because several cats in my community have gone missing, and I suspect illegal trapping by a neighbor is the cause. This husband and wife team openly trap cats with live traps and then foolishly posting about it on Facebook. These traps sit in their front yard. They bait them with catnip. This is not only illegal, but a felony under Minnesota statute 343.21. It is prohibited because you cannot lure animals into traps that way. I relied on information shared by the trappers. They insisted that they had approval from the Faribault PD to trap and dispose of nuisance cats, and that Faribault had a strict leash law for cats. I found out that neither of those statements were true. They even referenced this in their Facebook posts. I trusted those sources, and in hindsight, I should have asked more questions. There are specific ordinances and laws in place, statute 321.5, that protect cats from being trapped and relocated without proper procedures. These protections ensure that cats are not moved away from their homes and neighborhoods without proper care and consideration. Barbara Giselson, a prominent animal law attorney, personally came to Faribault and met with the families and individuals of the missing cats. She is fully aware of the situation and has recommended drafting an ordinance to protect the cats. I conducted a thorough survey in my neighborhood that took 3 days, speaking with longtime residents, documenting their responses. None of them, after living here for years, reported any cat issues. I believe that all cats have value. All cats, whether homed or unhomed, feral or domestic, deserve kindness and protection. I believe that's why Minnesota has laws to protect cats, as I mentioned. I also believe we need accountability for any form of animal abuse. That's why I feel it's crucial to enforce an ordinance in our community. I've submitted a model ordinance addressing those issues. I respectfully urge you, Mayor and Council, to take steps to stop these illegal practices, protect our pets, and uphold the law. Thank you.
All right, that's all we have signed up for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming, voicing your opinion. Our next item is item 6, consent agenda items. Tonight we have 6A through 6Q. Would anybody like
Mayor Spooner?
Yes.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda items 6A through 6Q.
Second.
Motion by Van Sluis, second by Barnes. All those in favor signify by saying
Aye.
All opposed? All those are passed. On to public hearings. We have one tonight, Resolution 2026-044. Street improvements, Mark Duchesne, Director of Engineering.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and the public. Before you tonight is a resolution to order the plans and specifications for our 2026 MSA Street Overlay Improvements Project. This is City Contract 2026-02. This year's street improvements for our overlay project are on 30th Street / Western Avenue, up kind of from Haskell's Highway 21 area through the D.R. Horton neighborhood there and around the corner, and then also on Lincoln Avenue from Highway 60 or 4th Street to 7th Street northwest. This is our typical mill and overlay project where we'll either mill the edges of the road or the full width of the road, depending upon the condition of the pavement and each individual road. We do full casting repairs and structure repairs as needed, replace defective existing curb and sidewalk, and then we come back and pave a new bituminous overlay to extend the service life of the street. The chart on the right there shows you our pavement management program, where from original construction to the time we reconstruct a pavement, we're aiming for that 50 to 60 year lifespan. Don't always get there. There's a lot of factors that go into determining the life expectancy of a street, but this is the guideline that we've adopted to follow. So I mentioned this year's project locations are Lincoln Avenue from Highway 60 to 7th Street, 30th Street Northwest from Trunk Highway 21 Lindale to Western Avenue, and then a short segment of Western Avenue from 30th Street. We continued this year again with our virtual neighborhood meetings. I received one question via email about the impacts during construction to adjacent properties. Mill and overlays are 20 minutes to a half hour when the mill's going by your property, that your access is limited. we're near the impacts of a reconstruction. Total project costs for this project come in just under $560,000. You can see a majority of that is paid for through our municipal state aid street fund. This is the city's portion of the state gas tax that we receive based on our population. So this, and then there's a small portion that's funded out of our water utility and sanitary. Following the public hearing tonight, pending council adoption to order plans and specifications, we do anticipate being back in 2 weeks to have you approve those plans and set a bid date for March 18th. Back on March 24th to award a contract. We anticipate then construction would begin May or June, depending on the contractor. We have a final completion date of August 30th. So with that, I ask you to conduct a public hearing to solicit input on the project and then consider resolution 2026-044. And I'll stand for any questions.
Questions for staff? All right, this time I'll entertain a motion to open up.
So moved.
Motion by Don Booyah, second by Barnes to open public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we are in public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak on this matter, please come forward. Need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Van Soos, second by Teal. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are out of public hearing. I will now entertain a motion on the resolution. Motion by Barnes, second by Don Booyah to approve resolution 2026-044. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That resolution passes. On to number 8, items for discussion. Resolution 2026-050, approval of liquor license. Heather Schlechter.
Evening, Mayor and Council. We have received an application from Gary Abram on behalf of the Signature Bar and Grill LLC that will be doing business as the Signature for a new on-sale and Sunday intoxicating liquor license. This license will go into effect on or around March 2nd, pending some paperwork, and will be valid through December 31st, 2026. The police department conducted a background check on this a while back, and the city attorney will be reviewing the certificate of insurance that is required for all liquor licenses once it's submitted and prior to submitting to the state of Minnesota. Once we submit it to the state of Minnesota, then they will review and give it a final approval. So staff is recommending approving resolution 2026-050, and I can take any questions.
Any questions for staff? Straightforward. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
By Teal, second by Van Stoos. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item B, resolution 2026-045. Plans and specifications for a bid date on a Deer pedestrian bridge. Once again, Mark Duchesne, our engineering.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and the public. Before you tonight is the next step in a public improvement project, and that's having council approve the plans and specifications and set a bid date. This contract is for the Deer pedestrian bridge, or the Deer Bridge, that's on the Straight River Trail, just east of Willow Street, north of the Sundet Mobile Home Park, southeast of the Faribault Gymnastics Center, just for reference. The existing Deer Bridge is an old railroad timber bridge that's been significantly damaged by years of rot and decay, as well as a couple of known fires there on the bridge. In 2023, we did hire a consultant to evaluate all of our pedestrian and non-transportation bridges. This was one of them that was identified for further investigation that happened in 2024. And during that deeper testing, it was noticed that many of the structural members of this bridge again, are showing significant decay and rot. Structural So this project removes that existing railroad timber bridge, replaces that bridge with a single span bridge It'll be a steel prefabricated bridge with a concrete decking on it, and then restoration of the adjacent bituminous trail. This is just an example of what I'm talking about when I say a single span prefabricated structural bridge. Another good example in the community is the bridge that's on the state trail there just south of the animal clinic. Bridge if the same fabrication company wins the bid. Estimated project cost per the consulting engineer for the construction portion of the contract is just over $604,000. Majority of that is paid for through the Park Improvement Fund, but we were successful last year in being awarded a $100,000 grant from the DNR Local Trails Program. I will say there's some conservativeness definitely built into this estimate just based on some uncertainty on where these manufacturers are. Gotten preliminary information from a number of folks who would be eligible to make a bridge like this, and the range is quite substantial, but we're showing pending approval of plans and specification tonight, we will go out for bids for March 4th bid opening, and we hope to award a contract on March 10th. Because of the DNR funding, we do have to get concurrence from them possibly before we can do a full award. The push to get awarded now is we're being told that these bridges have a 20 to 24 week lead time. So while we'll be bidding a contract now, we're going to take down some trees that we have to take down before the bat nesting season starts here in April. But the majority of the work likely won't start until the fall of this year, and possibly no work really will start until the spring of next year. It's really all going to depend on the fabrication. This project will, in some way or other, extend into spring of 2027. Construction actually starts in 26. So with that, we are asking you to consider resolution 2026-045, and I'll stand for questions.
Any questions for staff? Yes.
Shane, just curious how high up that bridge was and how long it was. Is this the one we spoke about earlier in the spring? Okay, so like 160 feet
Yep.
long.
Yep. All of 25, 30 feet across the ravine there where the unnamed stream goes.
Questions?
So I have a tough time supporting this, asking the taxpayer for $500,000 if you take out the $100,000 that the DNR wants to put in. That's a big ask. One thing that really came up over and over in caucus was that people are tired of being taxed to death. Is this a necessity or is this a want?
I think I can speak for both our current park director and our former park director that was here when we started this process. This is identified as a significant and key cog in our city trail system. There's no great alternative if this bridge is taken out. There's no great alternate route for that trail system other than putting people on the narrower sidewalk adjacent to Willow Street, back by the old Selner manufacturing plant. So if Parks and Trails are a valued resource, this is a key cog in that existing Parks and Trails.
For me personally, it's just a support because I think I'm in favor of improving our infrastructure. So I'm very happy that the DNR was able to at least add to what we have. So
Key part of our trail system. One thing we got in this town is a great trail system. All right, at this point in time, I'll entertain a motion. Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Dumbuya, a second by Teal. All those in favor of resolution 2026-045 signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Motion still passes. On to the last one, resolution 2026-046. A feasibility contract with HGA.
All right, good evening, Mayor, Council. Yes, oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's a long name.
I pronounced your name first time right. You cut me off.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm here before you tonight to carry on as was discussed previously with council in a work session about work for the community center feasibility study. And previously, the city had engaged HGA in a study for the new community center Park, and we're picking up where we left off, talking about the other side of the coin, whether we should renovate, talk about expanding existing facilities, rebuilding on the current site, so just doing a deeper dive into the previous work that was already done. And part of this project, and the reason we picked HGA is because they have the history of the previous work. They understood and did the facility assessment, and then the rationale behind the fee is we can directly appoint a professional services contract. We figured with HGA's product and recent and knowledgeable history that it was a fair price that they came in at. So $79,000 is what we're asking for tonight to carry on the work as directed by council. And so staff's recommendation is that the council adopt Resolution 2026-0446, authorizing the execution of the professional services contract with HGA for the community center feasibility study.
Questions for staff? At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Spooner? I make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-04.
Second.
Motion by Don Bouya, second by Barnes. All in favor of Resolution 2026-046, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion passes. Bids tonight, we have none. Boards and commission reports, project updates. Anyone?
Yes, just a reminder that tomorrow is our monthly council chat being held at, in conjunction with the Rice County Historical Society at the Alexander Faribault House from 3:30 to 4:30. And so obviously there's no parking on site at the Faribault, at the Alexander Faribault House. So we're encouraging people to use the Viaduct Park parking lot or the parking lot located at the Buckham Center to access that site.
I plan to be there.
I cannot make it.
I have a different commission meeting at the same time. At a similar time. I can maybe come at the beginning for a little bit.
Okay, thank you all. All right. That's it. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Van Sloot, second by Teal to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned with that one.
Are we going to the other room?
Nope.
We're staying here?
Yep.
Would you like this?
I would, yes, please.